knowing that and understanding that now is really powerful for me to move forward, but I wish I'd known it 15 years ago. And there was this one patient who really sticks in my head. His girlfriend would be sitting by the side of the bed. They were planning to get married at the end of the year. She had her wedding dress in the wardrobe, and we sort of really connected. I really resonated all these life milestones that she was hoping for with this person who was in the bed in a real unfortunate situation and state. I was so invested in this. It was almost like this was my relationship that I was a part of. Got into so much detail with them. And there was like a third night, and I came in and I was like, look, I actually need a break from this patient. I'm getting too connected. And so it feels like he's my partner dying in that bed. I need to have a night off. So they gave me a different patient. But unfortunately, as that night progressed, his pupils blew. And we knew in that instance that they're most probably brain dead, but you had to do a CT scan to confirm it. So I got pulled out of the patient I'd had because I'd got the experience with that level of intensity of the patients. And I helped as a runner to transfer the patient down to CT. And the guilt that I had, that I'd turned him down that night. So I don't want to look after you anymore. That was the narrative that I put in my head. Like, I don't want to look after you. It's too hard for me what you're going through. And this poor guy is actually dying. So I really punished myself for that. And then I started to disconnect. Like, this isn't healthy. I can't be disconnected to the people I'm caring for. I need to start putting a bit of a barrier up. But what I didn't do is process it. I didn't think about it. I didn't have any compassion for it. I didn't feel I deserved to have the feelings that I had, because I've known this person for maybe, 2-3 weeks. So that's not for me to feel that way, or crying when they're dying. That's not my place, even though I think I've stopped. But when you ignore it, it's a bit like a bad penny that just keeps coming up. These little things will happen through your working days. You disconnect, and every now and then you'll relapse because you'll connect with somebody, with their family. Someone's dying and they're in tears and you're in tears. And it just got to a point where I just kind of wanted to always run away from it and not face it and address it. And what I've kind of learned over time is that's actually still impacting me now. So that was 2009, we're like 2015, 15 years, sorry. I went to see like EAP about how I was managing my current work, how I felt about how good I was at my job, and that I didn't feel that I should be in this work and I wasn't good enough. And she's like, oh, has your boss said to you you're not performing? I was like, no, not at all. And when we kind of talked about it a bit more, she's like, you've got some work trauma that you haven't dealt with. You haven't processed that. And I kind of came away thinking, well, I don't know what's happened to me that would be so significant. And then it was actually just sitting with that idea that I thought, actually, this is a really big part of me that I tried to box up and put away. When COVID came, I started getting panic attacks. It was almost like reliving that I can't do it again. I can't watch people like this anymore. I need to get out of nursing. If I'm not in a nursing job, I can't get pulled back. I don't have to do this. But I've actually started to give myself some time to think about this and actually appreciate that, yes, okay, I didn't know him that well, but I was there for a very significant point in his life. And that vicarious trauma is a real thing. And it's okay for me to be sad for those people. And it's okay to feel those feelings. And it's not that I shouldn't. And it was okay for me to ask to have a different patient, because I was not being able to deliver what he needed because I was being caught up in my own emotions. Knowing that and understanding that now is really powerful for me to move forward. But I wish I'd known it 15 years ago, that actually you can you know, we should have, as a group of us that were locked away in that room, connected more once it was all finished. We should have supported each other better than we did. There should have been sort of psychology support, counselling support throughout the process. We got offered it at the end, and I think by the time it got to the end, we were all quite broken, and we'd all been sort of segregated off from the rest of the unit. So we always felt like we were disowned. But you need to keep working through that as you go through difficult things, and not hide from them or run away from them or just try and say that's not your right to have those feelings, because actually you experience what people are experiencing. It's impossible to actually cut yourself off without becoming numb and disconnected. And once you're disconnected, you can't really offer anywhere near what is needed.